Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Sight Screen Cricket Journal podcast. I'm your host, Tobin Qureshi, and I've got with me today ESPN Cricinfo Bangladesh correspondent Mohammed Isam. Isam, welcome. I know you're on the move, but we needed to talk really today because it feels like a historic day. I mean, I don't often do reviews of individual test days, but this felt a bit special. 23 years in the making, and you could say that arguably Bangladesh have had their best day of cricket ever. Before I bring you in, Isambay, just to kind of quickly summarise the day in terms of scores, Australia won the toss, chose to bat. They were bowled out for 198 in 53 overs. I'm going to repeat that because it sounds so good. 198 all out Australia in 53 overs. Really the star of the show, Hasan Mahmud, with his 6 for 55, ably supported by Tuskin Ahmed, Ebadot Hussain, who got 2 wickets each. And in reply, Bangladesh at Stumps, a 96 for 1, not out batters. Tanzid Hassad, 32 not out, and Momin al Haq as well, 35 not out. The only man out, Shadman Islam. So that's a summary. But I mean, it doesn't do it justice. All I can say is, wow, what a day. How do you sum it up, Isambay?
Certainly a special day for Bangladesh cricket. They are in Australia after 23 years, and as you have followed Bangladesh cricket for so long, Dawood bhai, it's been a sort of like a disappointment that they've never toured Australia for such a long time. I think they've toured England a couple of times, 2003 and 2000, I think 2005 and 10. Obviously, that's another big miss, but it's going to end inshallah next year when Bangladesh are going to play that one-off Test match in Lords. But here in Darwin, it was something of a special day. But part of it was slightly expected because of the way Bangladesh's seamers have bowled. So I think the bigger surprise was the batting approach of Mominul and Tanjid Hassan, who curved their shots and then opened up whenever there was an opportunity towards the end of the day. Uh, I'm awestruck by the bowling performance. Honestly, I mean, they have been doing well for a while. We've been covering a lot of Test matches in Bangladesh recently. We've covered a few matches together, and many of the occasions that I've covered a match with you, it's been all spin. But under Nazmul Hussain Shanto, Phil Simmons, I think going back to Russell Domingo, there has been a number of coaches who have had to adapt a fast bowling approach because of the way these fast bowlers have developed. Taskin Ahmed, Ebadat Hussain, they've all had their moments. Hasan Mahmud now has had 3 big ones: Pakistan, India, and now Australia. Of course, the big one is missing. Nahid Rana is not playing this test match. Shoriful is not playing the test match. I think Kerry O'Keefe mentioned that this is Bangladesh's B attack, the second string attack. I was laughing a little bit because it's not second string, but I mean they have 2 of their best bowlers missing. But it's such a good group of fast bowlers. Just imagine, I mean, if Mustafiz, I mean, you add to that mix, he's a great one-day and T20 bowler. You've got a set of fast bowlers who can compete at any level.
For sure. I mean, yeah, lots I agree with. I mean, just picking up on that last point, I felt maybe cricket a bit too sort of carried over for a new. That's what a performance. You summed it up well there, both with bat and with ball. I know people sort of tend to have very short memories these days. Everything that happens is the best ever. But surely this has got to count as one of Bangladesh's best ever test cricket days. I mean, just thinking back to recently, they've had lots of very good days of test cricket. Obviously, beating Pakistan home and away, the Mount Maunganui test, which I know you were at. But yeah, where does this rank in terms of Bangladesh's best test days?
It is right up there. I mean, yeah, you're right. There is a bit of recency bias there, but I think Bangladesh's Test cricket has improved recently. It has not been a great sight for such a long time. It has not been a great way that they have played cricket. They've tried to rely overly on spin. That hasn't worked at home. But now that the batters are doing well and the fast bowlers are doing well, I think improvement in a test in any team sport is all round improvement. You want the batters, the bowlers, the fielders, the captaincy, the wicket keeping, everyone to contribute. I think if you add all of these things, they have a number of um, a number of aspects that are now working a lot better than before. So beating Pakistan obviously was great in Rawalpindi. Such a difficult moment for the country at that time. They were just a few days after the revolution. They went to Pakistan and they won 2-0. Recently beat Pakistan 2-0 as well. They've had good days against India. They've had good days against England. They have defeated Australia at home. There was obviously the Shakib, Taijul, and Mehdi in the combination. I mean, but that didn't really. It looked a bit stacked towards the spinners. This one looks great because, again, as I mentioned earlier, the batting approach so far has been great. But I would rather think, Tawhid Bhai, that I want to see better days in this test match that could result to something massive.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. It is only day one, but that said, I mean, if you can't sort of celebrate and take joy in days like today, then yeah, I don't think you're really a cricket fan, really. Just a final word on the day overall from me. So obviously, I was watching it through the night UK time, and it kind of had a dreamlike quality for me because it was almost like when you're watching a film and you keep expecting a plot twist, you kind of know something bad is going to happen, but it never does. And it turns out to be like a real feel good movie. It kind of had that feeling for me through the night back in the UK. But yeah, like you say, it is only day one. Let's hope it carries on. Just a couple of performances I think we need to touch on. And, we've mentioned it a couple of times already. Hasan Mahmud with his 6 for 55, really, taking the plaudits today. Um, I want you to talk a little bit about him in terms of what he brings to the team. I mean, for me, I always feel he must be like a captain's dream. Never seems to kind of complain too much, doesn't have much of an ego, just runs in, always got energy. He'll, consistent speeds as well, doesn't seem to kind of have a significant drop off in terms of the second or third spell of the day, which he's bowling. And just hugely skillful, I guess, is my pick up. Yeah, what does he bring to a team?
Yeah, Hassan Mahmood, obviously, a quiet performer. I mean, from the very beginning when he started to play Test cricket in 2024, he had that quality about him. I mean, I remember his 5 wicket haul in Rawalpindi very well. Uh, I mean, very early days, 15 Test matches, already 3 5 wicket hauls, and in 3 separate countries. I was trying to go through how many bowlers have done it in India, Pakistan, and Australia, fast bowlers. Must be a rare group. I mean, I still haven't found many. I think he's a unique character in Bangladesh's perspective as well. A very quiet person. I remember that one of my colleagues at Cricinfo was telling me the other day that I was sharing the story of how Mahmood didn't want to celebrate a wicket. We asked him. I think you were in that press conference. We asked him, "Why don't you celebrate?" And he said, "Well, the batters are feeling bad. Why should I celebrate a wicket?" And I shared it with my colleagues, and they said, "Oh, such a Gen Z guy." So yeah, I mean, a very intimidating presence for batters, right there, never going anywhere with his length and his line. And today we saw how he stopped the Australian openers, how he bowled in the middle overs as well, and then he came back and took the last 4 wickets. So I just feel that Hassan Mahmood has that quality about him to grow into, something major in Bangladesh's bowling attack.
For sure, and he feels like certainly an unsung hero in terms of his kind of role that he plays within that pace attack. And yeah, here in the UK, we're lucky because we're going to get to see him up close again when he returns to play for Kent in September. I'm sure all UK-based Bangladesh fans are looking forward to that. Just a quick word on the other pacers as well. Tuskin, well, we know what Tuskin can do. Wholehearted bowler. He's always going to lead the attack, and he's always going to be among the wickets. But I thought he bowled the ball of the day to Bo Webster, absolute peach of a delivery, clipping the top off stump. I mean, the sort of ball that dreams are made of. And then just quickly, Ebadot Hussain as well. I mean, when Ebadot is on song and he's up for it, I mean, there's no finer sight, real character, just really expressive in everything he does. So, yeah, great to see both of those contributing as well.
Yeah, Taskin was always thereabouts. He had a bit of a mild start. He got struck for a run in the first over, but he's the sort of bowler who comes back, who understands the situation very well. Very experienced fast bowler. You have Ebadot, who's bowling, bowling average may be a little surprising to many, but he is very effective. So I just feel that Bangladesh has the right combination in this test match. Shoriful comes back in the next game. You never know what Mackay has to offer, and then we can have four fast bowlers and one spinner maybe. So I just think that Bangladesh, if batting goes well in these test matches, they are in for a big surprise.
Absolutely. Just the last word on the bowling innings, I suppose, is Steve Smith and his innings, which really kind of held things together for Australia. Without him, it really would have been a subpar total. You're looking at, a total around the 120s, really. But let's talk about Steve Smith quickly. He did have, I guess he had 3 lives very early on in his innings. He was dropped on 2 in the slips by Tunzid at 3rd slip. Within, I think it was the next over, perhaps the very next over.
Went through the slips.
It was all a bit of a blur. He edged one again through a vacant 3rd slip, and then there was a huge shout for caught behind. Ebadot was a bowler. Bangladesh reviewed it. It didn't go in their favour. I don't know if you've seen the press conference. You might not have done.
Yeah, I saw.
Steve Smith basically said, I think I edged that, and I think I was lucky.
Yeah, I felt it was an edge straight away. I think I was telling someone on WhatsApp that I think he edged it, and it didn't catch on the on the technology side of things. I thought the way Litton reacted and the way apparently Smith was walking off. So I think if he is walking off, you pretty much know that it was done. I mean, he got lucky, but as usual, Stephen Smith, he knows how to score those runs. He knows how to keep one side busy. He tried hard with. I think he had a good partnership with Alex Carey. I think one of the I think David Warner was mentioning that only Alex Carey showed a bit of intent in his innings, but the rest of the Australian batters were a bit stuck in one gear. I think Head and Weatherall tried too hard at the start, but the ball was really moving around. And then the rest of the batters, I think they collapsed to Bangladesh's accuracy mostly. But yeah, I think Smith batted very well, obviously. And it was Bangladesh was quite lucky that he ran out of partners. Then it could have been something else.
Sure. And yeah, how different it might have been if Kumar Dharmasena raised his finger, because it sounded like Smith wasn't going to review it. So, it's those sort of fine margins sometimes in the outcome of the test that make a real difference. But yeah, we'll wait and see about the impact of that. Let's just quickly turn to Bangladesh's batting then. Isam, as you kind of mentioned it up top, perhaps this was the real surprise of the day. And I must admit, I'm very much glass half empty a lot of the times when I'm watching Bangladesh play, particularly when they're batting. And I was kind of dreading a little bit how they might fare against the new ball, against that opening burst from Hazelwood and Stark. But basically, they came through it. Shadman got a start before being out. And then the other two, Tunzid in particular, I was impressed with. David Warner seemed very impressed with him as well on commentary about the fact that, playing the ball really late. And I think that was a feature for all the Bangladesh batters, just playing the ball very late and, just going after the bad balls. And, once or twice as well, we saw Tunzid dancing down the wicket to the likes of Hazelwood to collect a boundary or two. And then also heartening to see Momentous kind of getting back into some sort of form. Just for context, worth saying, obviously, the last time Bangladesh batted in Australia, they were all out for 54. So a huge amount of pressure on that top three, but they really did deliver today.
Absolutely. I think very good start. Unexpected, the way they left the ball, the way they met the ball properly under their nose, or, they played late, they understood the wicket, they observed the way maybe Smith batted, maybe Alex Carey batted. They saw how Australia were tucked up, and then they tried to force themselves and then got out. I was very impressed with the way Tanzid left a lot of those deliveries outside of stump. Shadman was a tad unlucky because he had tried to turn that ball. I think he also looked solid. And that's the thing. I mean, the major challenge is now going to be obviously batting in the same manner tomorrow morning, which is going to be hugely challenging on these moving, on these conditions where the ball moves around in the morning. So they have played out the new ball mostly. Obviously, Mitchell Stark did try a lot of his thunderbolts at these batters, but calmly negotiated by Mominul. Mominul is a very calming character in the middle. They have Shanto, the captain, coming up. They have Mushfiqur, they have Liton and Mehdi. But I would be very careful of how I don't. I mean, I'll be very surprised if they do not repeat the way they batted on the first evening, because if they do this, if they bat like this, they can grind Australia. Nothing like it. But I'm not going to make any predictions. I'm not going to, make any negative. I don't think it's negative. And the way they batted, that's the way they should bat in Australia. That's the only way they should bat, because otherwise, I think they have to. There is no other way to approach this bowling lineup than to grind them down and lay as less as possible outside of stump.
Absolutely, yeah. And yes, it will be fascinating to see how they go tomorrow. Before I leave you, Isambai, I just wanted a quick comment on Australia, I suppose, and kind of where they are at the moment. It's interesting because, the knives seem to be out a little bit for them from their own media colleagues. Sorry, you might have lost me there. I was saying, obviously, you've got lots of Australian colleagues. But yeah, the knife seemed to be out for them, particularly the way they people are saying, it's a very brittle batting order, a very old team as well. I think there's only one player, Cam Green, under the age of 30. But yeah, where do you see Australia in all of this?
No, obviously one of the best teams in the world right now. I mean, they have their own things to deal with, but against Bangladesh, a lower ranked side, I think they will. Anyone will fancy their chances against Bangladesh in their own conditions. So, I think the first day, a few things were a little surprising, but I feel that Australia has all the right or all the merit to come back into this contest and take it by the scruff of the neck. I mean, Bangladesh has to be extremely careful the way they bat on the second day.
For sure, absolutely, and fascinating how it's all going to play out in day two and onwards. Isambai, thank you once again for joining us. Really short notice. I know you're fantastically busy at the moment as well. So thanks once again for joining us, and hope maybe we can do this again. Who knows? Maybe we can make it a regular thing. But yeah, thanks a lot, Isambai.
Thank you so much for inviting me in your show.
Thank you once again, Isambai, ESPN Bangladesh correspondent, ESPN Cricinfo Bangladesh correspondent, and thank you everyone for watching. Really, an unprecedented video for Sight Screen Cricket Journal podcast. Day one review of really quite a momentous day. Do share, like, subscribe on the YouTube channel. Do follow me on X as well, at SightScreen CJ. And I'll see you all again very soon. Goodbye for now.